That's right, live from Studio A here on CultureShift on WDET. I'm Ryan Patrick Hooper. So excited to have you for this next live in-studio performance coming from Ideeyah. How do you describe Ideeyah's style? Well, you could say electro soul. You could say there's clearly house influence here. You could say there's some spirituality. There's some meditation buried inside of this music as well. The Detroit native is a lot of things, very well dressed in our Studio A, great fit today, but also a songwriter, performer, and self-described vessel of healing through electrifying vocals and storytelling. Inside her songs are the stories of women that experience love, grief, imposter syndrome, intimacy, healing, and motherhood. She's bringing all of that energy into our Studio A right now. Culture Shift's Tia Graham in studio with Ideeyah. Hey, Tia.
Hey, Ryan. Thank you so much for that beautiful intro.
Right.
For Ideeyah. Thank you for joining us, Ideeyah.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, it was so, I saw you perform once live and I thought to myself, I have to share her with the WDET audience. They have to know about Ideeyah. So once again, thank you for being here.
Thank you so much for the invitation.
Yes, thank you to D Love for being here as well. And as well, Trey Priest, thank you as well for being here. We're all going to be performing on the show for you all. But just jumping into things, how did you get your start? Where did it begin? Where did your passion and love for music start?
It had to start when I was really, really, really small. My mom played music all the time around the house, in the car, just everywhere, regular childhood. But we had these basement stairs that just opened up to like the main area of our basement, and I treated that as like a stage. And I lined all my little baby dolls up, and they were my audience and everything. And I was like, oh yeah, this is my thing. I'm gonna do this.
So what were you singing to them?
Oh, probably some stuff I made up. More than likely, I was making up songs all the time, but that continued because my mom actually saw. That there was something there, and she enrolled me in lots of different programs. I was a part of Mosaic Youth Theater of Detroit. I went to Spain Middle School and then went on to go to the Detroit High School of Fine and Performing Arts, where I studied under Miss Cheryl Valentine, Sheila Sipes, and, it just never stopped. I've been performing since I could talk, probably.
And, Ideeyah, we often talk about the connection and the camaraderie that is in the music industry here in the city of Detroit. Talk about that having that mentorship, number one, but also continuing on with a community of growing artists.
So that's what I really love about Detroit, and especially how it's growing now, that community is getting stronger and tighter, and everybody is collaborating with one another. I've been blessed to work with so many of my personal mentors in the industry, such as Amp Fiddler, Jessica Care-Moore, Theo Parrish, Wajid, and there's so many more that I want to continue to work with. Monica Blair, you know what I'm saying? I've worked with her for many, many years, and they just studying with them and working so closely with them helped me to figure out what kind of artist I wanted to be and how to navigate that, how to pursue that, how to make it into my own. And so now I'm getting the opportunity to collaborate with super talented musicians such as Trey Priest, as well as some others. There's Mefta. He's a talented producer and musician. Sophia E., another super talented musician. But then there are also the others that I want to work with, like Keswa and Super Cool Wicked. There's so many different artists out here now, and I'm so glad to see that community is not only growing larger but growing stronger. Yeah.
So, we talked a little bit about Jessica Care-Moore. That's where I was introduced to you performing live at the Car Center. And one of the things that you all were talking about was just that getting back on the stage and getting back out there and actually just getting over that fear, that hump,
Yeah.
Explain that to the audience, WDET audience, about, just that fear of performing and getting over that.
Where do I start? I mean, a lot of us, I'm talking about myself. I'm not going to throw anybody else under the bus, but a lot of us have been inside, since 2020. And I was one of those ones that stayed inside, and not because I was afraid to go outside, but there was a lot of anxiety and a lot of, I guess there was fear, that was kind of really shut up in all of us, that was just kind of trapped. And I didn't know how to present myself as an artist. I was more so focused on just being a person. How can I survive? And that's just kind of the mode and the mindset that I had been in for what seemed a long time. Because I've talked with so many people that were like, man, that pandemic aged us, didn't it? I've got pains in areas that I didn't have pains back in 2019. You know what I mean? Like, these knees are popping now, but all seriousness, there was a lot of fear that came along with that. But it honestly exposed me to so much of the potential that I had been building up for all of that time too. I mean, it's not that I don't have stories to tell. I mean, we went through a lot. There are plenty of stories to tell. There's lots to talk about. I'm just now figuring out how to say the things that need to be said. Yeah. And
we have Ideeyah.
Here we are.
I know we have Ideeyah live in studio. You talked a little bit about age, and I think I saw a few gray hairs pop up, and I said, that's just from the stress of the pandemic.
You know what I'm saying? That's all that is.
Yeah, so we're going to get into the first song here. Go ahead and describe the first song to us.
Okay, so this is Bait. Bait is a song from my debut album entitled Brave, and this song was, it gives me Detroit hip hop vibes. It was produced by my brother Wajid, and it just takes me to that Detroit hip hop kind of place. It's a song where I'm giving my best game to somebody, really, honestly.
Spitting games.
I got my PlayStation socks on today because I like to play games. No, really, this is Bait. With the way you call on me, yeah, and I'm in love with how your fingers fall on me. So touch me, ooh, touch the boy, babe, speed it up, and log me to jump as we heat it up. This art form is something to discover. Later we'll shoot our album cover. Ooh, touch the boy, baby, speed it up, and allow me to jump as we heat it up. This art form is something to discover. Later we'll shoot our album cover. Yeah. Love song with me, and I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. No. Oh yeah. To get started, I can't wait to get started. See, I'm in love with how you stare me down, me down. Yeah. And I'm so in love with how you hold me down, yeah, pin me down, yeah. Touch the boy, babe, speed it up, and allow me to jump as we heat it up. This art form is something to discover. Later we'll shoot that album cover. Oh, touch the boy, baby, speed it up, and allow me to jump as we heat it up. This art form is something to discover. Come on, let's shoot that album cover. Hey, yeah. Ooh, yeah. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started now. Ooh, yeah. I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. See, I remember what it felt like when you first chose me. It was intoxicating, baby. oh, to say the least. And to some I might be crazy, shit, but damn it, I feel free. And I won't do the explaining, baby. See, it's just what you do to me. What you do to me. Oh, what you do to me. What you do to me. Oh, what you do to me, yeah. Will you write a love song, baby? See, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started now. I want you. See, I need you. See, I can't wait to get started. I can't wait to get started. So will you write a love song with me? See, I can't wait to collab with you, baby. Will you write a love song with me? Ha. That's bait.
I always did the single clap. Yay! Thank you so much to all of you performing today. That idea, that was amazing. That was Bait, produced by YG. And that's off of your first album, your entitled album, debut album, Brave.
Yes.
Out of 2017.
That's right.
So you talk about, if you can, talk a little bit about creating that album and the vibes that you were looking for.
2017. Well, okay, yeah, that was a different time. So honestly, that album was about 10 years in the making, to be real honest. I worked with a very talented producer by the name of Dean Beans. And at the time, there was a music group called Every Music. And we worked really hard on that album, like over the course of 10 years. But I've come to accept that I'm kind of a slow burn. And kind of go with the flow in that sense. Like, I'm not an impulsive artist in that way. Like, I don't necessarily I don't know. I don't want to box myself in that way, but I make out of survival, I suppose. You know, I create out of survival. So I write the songs that keep me alive. You know, I write the songs that speak to not just my experience, but sometimes it's a download. So on this album, there are songs that are from my personal experience, and there's some things on there that I've never gone through before, and things that I've never experienced, that were shared experiences through conversation and relationships with friends, with family, or just, you know, me being nosy and eavesdropping on somebody else's conversation. Like, girl, you went through that? I could have read about that, you know. But there's a lot of different experiences on Brave. And I think that, I did write it for people like myself, for women or people who identify as women. But I know that there is something for everybody on that album, for sure, because I've heard it, you know, I've seen it, and I'm really proud of that body of work. I'm glad that it's still alive and giving more life this day, you know.
Ideeyah, I think about, you know, once again, listening to some of the songs and listening to some of the concepts of the songs. And I think about the one that stood out the most was imposter syndrome. Oof. And, you know, not just for Black women, all women are going through imposter syndrome right now. All people are going through some type of imposter syndrome, whether or not it's social media, whether or not it's trying to keep on airs for other people around you. Everyone's trying to be something they necessarily may not be.
It's a lot of pressure.
A lot of pressure out there.
Yeah.
How do you use your music to break through some of that pressure? I know you talked about that music helping you survive. How does it help you push through?
Honestly, you have to do it. I can't explain that. Really, it's just to do it. As the more I grow as a person, just outside of music, but as a person, I'm learning that I am waiting for a response, you know, waiting for something to respond to, you know. So there's a lot of things that are happening right now. And there are a lot of things for me to respond to right now, to write in response to those happenings. And I think that is what is keeping us. I mean, girl, it took me 10 years to make Brave. You know what I mean? So if that's not a testament to what imposter syndrome is, you know, right there, it took 10 years. And not to say that it should have taken, you know, a year or two, but it took the time that it took, because that's just what we're dealing with. But at the end of the day, the resolve was, do it, respond. There is something here for you to respond to. These songs are begging to be written. These lyrics are begging to be penned. These melodies want your voice on them. You know what I mean? So it's respond, just do it.
Something's out there calling to you. Do it.
Do it for sure.
That. I love that.
Within reason, of course. So I just want to make that clear, within reason.
Now, when you, of course, when we were talking a little bit, you are a mom as well.
I am.
So talk about, because I know there's so many different other pressures that come along with being a mom and a working mom. And, sometimes we don't necessarily see those standards put on men. So talk about what it looks like for you being a working, performing mom.
My son does not care. He does not care. He's like, yeah, girl. So where's my dinner? No, he is quite the phenomenal person. Like, honestly, I could not have asked for a better person to be a part of my family. My son is I've always told him this, but I feel like we were siblings in another life, and he feels like my little brother, so I call him brother. And I absolutely enjoy doing life with him. He is very much his own person. He has his own ideas. He's very creative. Right now he is working on his own comic book and animated series. He also is a music producer. He all self-taught, but his father and I, we collaborate really well and co-parent really well, and, make things, we try to help him chase after what it is that he wants, so making sure that you like doing that? Okay, well, let's get you into this program. You like doing that now? All right, well, there's a DAPSET program for that too, so there's lots of things that he's interested in, and I want him to pursue all of it. So as a mom, I'm busy all the time, not just with my own things, but making sure that I'm investing in him and his interests as well, because I want him to do things like this, but on a larger scale, if that's what he wants, more than anything, I just want him to be happy. So,
and continuing on that just a little bit, because I love how you talked about how, that's like your buddy, that's your brother.
That's brother for sure.
And so talk about how you both are learning from each other as you grow.
Oof. There's this thing, kids have this really wonderful way of holding you accountable. And sometimes it's funny and sometimes it's not so funny, because there's some things you have to hold your tongue on. But it's like, at the end of you're right. You're absolutely right. But I think that because he's still very new to this whole life experience. He's only been here 11 years. Mm-hmm. And so he's seeing the world from a very, very different perspective than I did when I was 11 years old. There's more technology. He has more access to information. He knows about a lot more programs and programming, than I had access to. So, my ideals to him might be a bit archaic and outdated. He asked me if I was alive during slavery one day.
No.
And I was just like, boy, no. Well, but that I can appreciate that he was looking to me for something like, what was it like? I'm like, I don't know. I was not there, bro. I don't know. But what I get from that is that there's an opportunity for me to learn from the things that he knows already. And there's a lot of information he came here just knowing that I didn't know coming here. And these are things that I'm playing catch up to. And I wouldn't tell him this, and he probably won't hear this, but sometimes I think he's a little bit smarter than me. I won't tell him, but sometimes I do believe he's smarter than me, but I won't tell him because he's a Virgo, and then he'll hold that over my head forever. Shout out to all the Virgos. He loves a Virgo.
Yeah, he's dancing.
He's a Virgo for
We're going to
sure.
get into the next track that you all have lined up for us,
Yeah. This is the title track from the album, and it is entitled Brave. Woman, she can stop time. Goddess, yeah. She tastes like wine. Your addiction, maybe you had it before. My prediction, is that she'll turn your heart gold. It looks easy, but you will never see the pain. No, she's brave. Sun, moon, the stars, they're right over her shoulders. Wings on her back, they're gonna carry her over. Why should I behave when she's brave? She's brave. Feet steady, even when the ground moves. I'm ready to run in her shoes. So bring the thunder, say bring the rain down from the clouds. Breathe and wonder, hey, let me fly, let me be wild. It looks easy, but you will never see the pain. Oh no, I gotta be brave. She's brave, yeah, she's brave. The sun, moon, the stars, they're right over her shoulders. Wings on her back, they're gonna carry her over. Why should I behave, yeah, well, she's brave, yeah, she's brave, yeah.
Latifah, Beatrice, Norda, Christina, Ideeyah.
Why should I behave when she's brave? She's brave.
Thank you very much for that performance of Brave.
Thank you.
Yes. So as we continue forward, we're going to wrap up pretty soon. One more question, two more questions here. Are you working on any new projects?
I am.
Let us know.
Okay, so just finished up actually recording my second project with that young man that I mentioned earlier, Mefta. We have a project entitled Sweet Chariot that it will be coming out on vinyl later this year, and it is done. Like as of last week for sure. Last week it's done. It'll be out on vinyl this year. Sorry. Yeah,
You know, it's record store day tomorrow, so
Right.
pump up that vinyl. Pump up that vinyl.
Oh man, I would encourage everybody to get them some vinyl. If you have a project, put it on vinyl. Put it on some vinyl. Put it on some vinyl for sure.
Alrighty then.
Yeah.
So as we're gonna end off, you're gonna end us off with the last song.
Sure. So this one is it's not on my album, but it is a collab that I did with my brother Wajid again. It was on his From the Dirt album. It's entitled I Ain't Safe. It's a long intro on this one. A sidestep in all black, come dance with me. White wall, 5 feet tall, all eyes on me. Where did you go? He promised he would save a dance for me. But wouldn't you know? This little sucker stepping all on my feet. Toss him out in the street so we can get back to the basic. You could be my manger, them other guys is chasing, but I stay on that matrix. Get back to the basic. You could be my manger, them other guys is chasing. I stay on that matrix, baby. I see you, Ryan. Work yourself up, baby. I'm gonna make a believer out of you. Yeah, flexing, pressing, baby, but they're watching and waiting on you. Where did you go? He promised he would save a dance for me. Wouldn't you know? This little sucker stepping all on my feet. So toss him out in the street so we could get back to the basic. You could be my manger, them other guys is chasing. I stay on that matrix, get back to the basic. You could be my manger, them other guys is chasing. I stay on that matrix, baby. percussion, Trey Priest on guitar. Thank you, guys.
Ideeyah live in Studio A in conversation with Culture Shift's Tia Graham, sounding absolutely fantastic.